Okay, I'm gonna get right into this. I was cruising. Just so happened to find a piece about Mr. Shane Carey. But y'all remember at the interview all this he was doing. Okay, y'all remember all that fake crying he was doing, all them fake emotions, and all the moving back and forth, and all the direction he was getting from the director. And he's the one who gonna call a story fake news. Let's go over to the article. I'm gonna make this quick. I'm gonna go to the article. For the DNA test, I guess the kid is his. They never said verbatim. DNA test proves Shane is the dad. But since they gave the kid back, I guess it's the dad. Let's read this. Fiance of murder Texas mom thought raid on home where bodies were found was fake news and a media stunt. Okay, why would Shane Carey think it was fake news and a media stunt when news broke of baby being found and a body being found? Now, what possesses him to say fake news and all that fake crime he was doing, all his bad acting? Got a good picture of Heidi and the baby together. Okay, let's go through it. The fiance of Texas mom, or Heidi Broussard, has been missing, who had been missing for a week before she was found murdered and stuffed in the trunk of her best friend's car, have refused. He had refused to believe what he was seeing on television as the police closed in on locations of her friend. It's saying she was officially classified missing on December 12th after Shane Carey notified police. Their 2-week-old daughter was also missing. That's the lady who did it. So says the lady who did it. So I'm skimming through this. I'm speaking about officers swooped in suburban homes. Okay, speaking about the time officers swooped in on a suburban Houston home, Shane's best friend Mike, Quarantine Vitanillo, revealed to True Crime podcast The Critical K that the father thought the raid was fake news and a media stunt. Now let's see. A friend did an interview with Critical K. One did with Jay for Justice. Another one did an interview with Brian Mosley. I didn't hear this part right here. When the friend Mike, well, I don't say his name. I was gonna say Quentin Tarantino. When Mike Q said on Critical K that he thought it was fake news, Shane thought it was fake news. Okay, let's read this. I told him apparently the FBI, Texas Rangers, such and so, were all there. He said, this is what Shane said. They said the medical examiners, no, he said, whoever said this, the medical examiners came out. There was a body in the trunk. There's a baby there. I asked him, who's Megan? He said, wait, what are you thinking? I said, look, man, they found Heidi in the trunk of this vehicle that's been parked in the backyard of this house, he continued. And he was like, Shane was like, shut the F up, man. Don't talk to me. Don't tell me this. Turn your phone off right now. This is the media. Okay, Shane say this is the media because the media can be fake news. Oh my gosh, Mike said to Shane that there's no way law enforcement could set up such an elaborate ruse, but he couldn't get it through to him. Yes, no, my gosh, yes, there is. He didn't want to believe me. He said he was starstruck, kinda. He said, "Don't tell me this S man," and his knees buckled a little bit. The friend was charged December 20th with 2 counts of kidnapping and tampering with a body. Now, I just found this headline very strange. It's gonna be a thumbnail. Let's go back over. Now, the reason I find that strange because his acting was strange. Tim Miller acting is strange. I mean,
My family called us first, and then I called.
this is Tim Miller. He was in the Casey Anthony case. He helped on that case. He's not an investigator, not an officer, not none of that. He just some guy that founded an organization that somehow has partnership with the police. And to go back to Casey Anthony case, that's when Casey lost a baby. They didn't know what the baby was. Parents didn't know what the baby was. People would say, well, maybe the parents was involved. Casey was involved. Either way, Casey Anthony got not guilty conviction and was released. And no one still knows where the baby is. Anybody, had they ever found Casey Anthony baby, child? No, that whole bull crap media stunt news.
Talked to the detectives up in Austin, and we talked several times with detectives. And they said, we just don't have anything yet on the investigation that's narrowing this thing down to an area that we think we need to search. And he asked me, he said, have you found any areas? And I said, well, I did, but I don't know if it make any sense. I said, I rode around with Shane for a long time. I spent a good part of the day.
I just want you to hear a part that the person behind the camera tries to correct what he's saying, just like with the Shane Carey thing.
And, we hate to go up there and spend a lot of money and burn up a bunch of resources with just shooting an arrow in the sky. Wherever it comes down, that's where you start. So we stayed in close touch. I talked to Shane almost every day. Shane was frustrated at best, and
he took a lot of heat.
He took a lot of heat. And Shane would call me and say, man, they brought me in, they polygraphed me, they kept me 7.5 hours and stuff, and he got upset with him. He called him some names that we can't say, and he said, if I have anything to do with this, squeeze it out of me. How can he can't squeeze it out of me? And, and Shane was questionable in my mind. He was, and his stories weren't just quite as consistent as I thought. But I got to remember, I went through that my own self. And in the very beginning, there's a lot of different things going through your head. So I understand it now. Now I understand it. But then, another friend gave me some friends of Heidi's and said, why don't you call him? And so my first call was to Meghan. And she answered the phone, and I told her who I was, and she said, yeah, I've seen you on TV so many times, and just thank you for helping find my friend. And I said, and she just went on and on and on. And and here she's at the hospital with Heidi when she has a baby. Here she is after Heidi gets out at the house helping and everything. Here's supposedly the best friend. So...
Best friend.
That right there.
Not just a friend, best friend.
Well, best.
Now, why did she have to say best friend, not this friend, best friend? Why can't you just let the man talk and tell his story? Like, why you got to give him directions as if he needs to have the S or the best in front of the word friend. All right. Same thing happened with Shane Carey. Them telling him where to stand, this direction. Shane Carey looking at the cameraman, producer, to make sure his answers are right. And apparently the producer in this skit didn't like the answer of best friend, so told him to correct it.
Yeah, she had like three. Here's supposedly the best friend. So.
Best friend. Not just a friend, best friend.
Well, best she is after Heidi. You know, and here she's at the hospital with Heidi when she has a baby. Here she is after Heidi gets out at the house helping and everything. Here's supposedly the best friend. So.
Best friend. Not just a friend, best friend.
Well, best friends.
And he did say best friend. She wasn't listening to herself. She was like, not just friend, best friend. Well, lady, if you're listening, he said best friend the first time. So, you're a sucky director. You're not even listening to your own script. You're not even listening to, lady.
Yeah, she's at the hospital with Heidi when she has a baby. Here she is after Heidi gets out at the house helping and everything. Here's supposedly the best friend. So.
Best friend.
Best friend.
Not just a friend.
Not just friend,
Well,
best friend.
friends.
Why did you have to interrupt him?
Three really, really close friends, and Meghan is.
Now, if you go back and watch this interview, you'll see the same type of direction. Stand here, or mainly him looking at the camera, laughing, him looking at the director. Every time he gives the camera a answer, he looks at the director to verify or sure that he gave the right answer. So Shane wants to come out and say fake news. That's just bullshit. One of the best, but we got it.